within horror movies, we have urban legends, scary stories. People talk about these haunted places throughout centuries and cultures. We've labeled cemeteries to be somewhere that's haunted. Now, a cemetery, obviously, you guys know when someone passes away, they take them to go get buried and, lay to rest. RIP. That's why I believe hospitals are more haunted compared to cemeteries. Hi, my witchies. Welcome to the Witch Doctor Tales podcast. My name is Megan. I'm from Fresno. I talk about haunted places, true crimes, urban legends, histories and scary stories, and paranormal videos of Fresno. So if you're from Fresno or even from the Central Valley, why not subscribe? Where I'm here on Sundays for visual on the podcast on YouTube and also on Mondays for audio. Now, before we get into the podcast, views discretion is advised. Everything we talk about is just pure speculation. I always have to say this. We do not claim these places are haunted. And we do not promote any activity. So if you're going to go there, at your own risk. Don't say, I told y'all to go. No, I'm serious. I didn't tell y'all to go. Do not go to these places that we mentioned that is haunted because you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get me in trouble, and I don't want that. But with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get straight into the podcast. I wanted to talk about cemeteries. What makes people think that cemeteries are haunted? Why do they think it's haunted? Is it because it's dark at night, or is it because the knowing of someone passed away being buried? And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And also the Belmont Memorial Park cemetery that's located on Belmont. I was doing research for haunted places and I came upon this information or research, you can say. And I was like, okay, we can talk about cemeteries. Well, my birthday was on Tuesday, and I just want to say thank you, everyone, for the birthday wishes, and I really appreciate it so much. I didn't really think you guys were going to drop down the comments. People follow me for these scary stories, haunted places, and information, like, research and stuff. But when I said it's my birthday, you guys showed me some love, and I just want to say thank you to all that showed me love. I really appreciate it. And well, anyways, let's talk about what's happening. Before we get into the podcast, I wanted to talk about something that was happening here in Fresno, California. So if you're from Fresno, listen to this. There was a video on TikTok on my FYP showing kids from Fresno taking over. Well, the trend is called taking, let me see, hold on. It says Fresno police warn of possible TikTok takeover plan at Fashion Fair Mall. And I said, what's going on? And so I clicked play. Let's watch it together.
It's kind of crazy that these teenagers are taking over, because I've seen things happening in other parts of the country too. And I think it's kind of crazy.
The TikTok takeover trend has now reached Fresno.
I did see on Instagram.
Others heard about it for the first time.
I didn't know. I just now found out because you're here reporting it.
It's going to bring in a lot of chaos.
Workers, managers, and store owners tell me they hope the takeover stays in the planning stage and doesn't happen.
Hopefully they gotten ahead of it and tackled the problem before it actually happens.
You're driving potential customers away from stores that they might need.
Miriam Bautista, the business owner of Western Boots Fashion, seconds that, saying there's a moment she even considered closing up the shop, but says she can't afford to lose business for a day.
And honestly, it's very concerning because the economy is already bad. Imagine if people don't come to the mall. People will be scared to bring their families.
Over at Sports Station, employees have been given clear instructions on what to do if anything happens. First thing, call security right away.
I am allowed to just close the store, at least temporarily, until I contact management if they're not here.
Vera McClendon is telling teens to think twice before getting involved.
Because then, you might get, hurt for a stampede, or potentially worse, you might get arrested.
So I guess there was a trend and now it's heading toward Fresno. And only thing I can say about this is that I hope this trend does not happen where the kids should be at home, and I get it. Kids are growing up where they want to have fun. And, when we were younger, we were doing these trends too. You guys remember the ice bucket challenge, and there was the Kylie Jenner lip challenge. A lot of people were doing them. I wasn't. For example, remember Glozell I heard about the cinnamon challenge where people eat a spoon of cinnamon to see if they can swallow. And then I seen that first video from Glozell, and then people started doing it. I don't know if it was originally from her, but that's where I knew about the trend. And so, through every generation, or let's say during these times, we do have these trends where kids want to hop on and do them. And I love that for them. But to do a takeover where they're doing all these things, I just hope it doesn't happen. Now, I am not the one to tell you to take care of your kids or how to raise your kids, but do you guys remember that video on the news years ago when we were younger, where the news anchors and stuff will be like, "It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?" Do you guys remember that?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
We need to bring that back. I am not telling you guys how to take care of your kids or how to raise your kids, but keep a lookout and make sure they are staying out of trouble. I'm pretty sure my parents did the same thing, make sure I'm not doing anything that's going to get me in trouble. But kids are going to be kids. And as teenagers, as we're growing up, we're going to be rebellious. I didn't listen to my parents. But like I said, what I'm trying to say is I will not try to tell you how to raise your kids, but, watch them and make sure they're okay and be safe. Did you guys heard about this takeover trend that's happening that's reached Fresno? Drop down a comment and let me know. If you're from Fresno, do you know where your kids are? It's 10 p.m. Or it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? I'm gonna start saying that. They need to bring that back just to remind us, even on over the social medias, because we watch videos on our phone. So they probably should make somehow like an ad that pops up and goes, "It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are?" Okay, let me try to do it. Hold on. Let me try to do it. "It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are?" How was that? Did I sell it? Yeah, I know I did. Thank you. Anywho, let's get back into the topic. Today, we're going to be talking about this haunted place in Fresno, California, known as Belmont Memorial Park. But before we do about knowing it's haunting and these people's experiences, I wanted to talk about why people believe cemeteries are haunted. Is it because it's a dark ambiance feeling? Is it because we know that people passed away and they're there to rest? And, personally, I believe that the reason why people believe cemeteries are haunted is because when they're walking through the cemetery, it's late at night. Mind you, we're not supposed to be there late at night anyways, but I get it. People dare each other. It's like a rite of passage. And so when they go to these haunted places like cemeteries, as they're walking in, it's dark, it's scary, it's gloomy. And I think our brain creates this high alert feeling. And so we're on edge. We're all on top of, is it on edge or on our foot? Where we're so scared and we're just walking around. Picture yourself walking at a cemetery late at night and it's dark. The only thing that's showing is the street light, maybe a tombstone with a candle. And as you're walking, you hear, I don't know, like a leaf fall from the tree, but it sounds so loud because it's quiet. Crunch, you jump, and then your mind is like, "Oh my God, I just heard something. I know it's haunted." But within horror movies, we have urban legends, scary stories. People talk about these haunted places throughout centuries and cultures. We've labeled cemeteries to be somewhere that's haunted. Now, a cemetery, obviously, you guys know when someone passes away, they take them to go get buried and, lay to rest. And that's why they're supposed to be RIP. Well, I personally think hospitals are more haunted because people tragically are passing away, whether something happened to them, they get hurt and then they somehow pass away. Again, I'm not trying to say certain words. And so that's why I believe hospitals are more haunted compared to cemeteries, because people are passing away at the hospital. So they pass away in a flash, or, their life passes before their eyes. But a cemetery is where you take them to go get buried and say your last goodbyes and have them rest in peace. So what do you guys think? Do you believe that cemeteries are more haunted than a hospital, or would hospitals be more haunted than a cemetery because people pass away there? I would love to hear what you guys thought is on that. Drop down a comment, let me know. So let's talk about this haunted place in Fresno, California, known as Belmont Memorial Park. Being from Fresno, I know that cemeteries are haunted, but never would I ever thought that Belmont Memorial Park was haunted. Well, I did some research and it says Belmont Memorial Park in Fresno is considered one of the city's haunted location, with reported paranormal activity, including shadowy figures and sounds of footsteps. Paranormal investigators who went to do paranormal investigation claimed they saw shadow figures, even heard footsteps, and according to them, voices and whispers. This site has been subject to amateur paranormal investigators, especially places it haunted in Fresno, California. The area is considered for its historical nature, which sometimes correlate with reports of hauntings, making it a focal point for researchers exploring haunted Fresno. I've never heard about the Belmont Memorial Park, that it was haunted. Now, this location is on 201 North Tillman Avenue, Fresno, California, 93706. And we are not promoting, and we do not promote any activity. I hate when I touch the microphone. We do not promote any activity. If you're going to go to this place, at your own risk. Again, we do not claim this place is haunted. So I'm just here to tell you guys the story, and y'all take the information and use it somehow, but do not, I repeat, do not go to these places when we talk about them. I don't want you to get hurt and then you're going to try to blame me when I'm just here as a paranormal podcaster. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? So just be careful. Now, I don't know if the Belmont Memorial Park is haunted. I've heard so many haunted places here in Fresno, California, but this is the first time I've heard Belmont Memorial Park being haunted. But I am not going to dismiss their paranormal experiences. So, for example, if, let's say, you and your friend dared each other to go to Belmont Memorial Park, and you guys walked through there, it was dark, it was scary, and just the feeling of knowing that something is not right, crunch, and you're getting scared, but then you didn't get attacked by a spirit, you didn't sense anything, you didn't hear no footstep, no whisper, so on and so forth. That does not mean other people didn't experience these things. Just because you did not experience these paranormal experiences, you cannot dismiss their paranormal experiences. And why am I saying paranormal experiences so many times? Paranormal experiences. And just like when I hear people tell me these scary stories that they've had, I don't know if they really went through this paranormal phenomenon, but I'm going to believe them. So if you guys been following me for a long time, I've had my personal paranormal experiences, and that's why this world was open to me. I felt like I needed to hear other people's paranormal phenomenon just because I want to find a relation to it. I've heard so many people being haunted where, for me, I believe them because I went through it. And there are people out there who don't believe these paranormals are real because either one, they don't believe, for two, they've never had the experiences, and for three, maybe they did and they're scared, so they just want to take it out of their mind. So off topic, a lot of people in my TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and also Instagram drop down comments saying ghosts are not real, these are demonics. And hey, it maybe is demonics. Maybe they're demonic beings trying to hurt us. But I've also heard too that the devil, when he comes onto earth, he has no power here. He's powerless because technically this is God's playground where he gets to play, but he doesn't have any power. And he uses his pawns that are on earth to do his bidding. Oh no, we're getting into a conspiracy. Let's not talk about it. If you know, you know. Back to the topic. Now, one of my friend who's also a TikToker, his name is King Elote, he told me his personal paranormal experiences. He even recorded it on video. Last year, we went to this haunted maze here in Fresno, California at a Walmart on Shaw and Broadly. I can't remember the street. And King Elote was there. He was all, Megan. I was like, hey. He was like, dude, I went to a cemetery and I caught something. I was like, what happened? He told me, and this is coming from King Elote. Hi, King Elote. He told me that he went to a cemetery with his friends and his kids. I don't know if it was his kids, but somehow I remember that it was his kids. And he went to go visit I believe he said his stepfather that took care of him and loved him so much. He went to go visit the cemetery and he saw this lady. He saw her and he pulled up to her, like he saw her physically and talked to her. And then I forgot what else happened, but he drove off. And as he drove off, he looked and that lady disappeared like in an instant. And he caught it on camera. I remember he showed it to me when I was watching the video. He showed it me, like he was standing right here and Miguel was right here and he had the phone like this. And I was looking, and when I was staring, it was a lady. I believe she was wearing orange or red. And he was like in the truck. He was driving towards her, and then when he looked, because I can still see her figuratively, I think that's the word. I can still see her physically right there. And as he was driving, she disappeared like that, like within the camera frame. And dude, I started getting, I'm getting chills right now. I started getting chills. Now, he's not a paranormal investigator or a paranormal podcaster. He sells elotes, corn on a cob, corn on a stick. He doesn't post about stuff like this. But when he showed me that video, I knew it was real because I looked at him. And when I looked at him, he was scared when he was showing it to me. He was looking at it. He wasn't looking at my expression to see how I felt. He looked at it and got triggered by it. I'm going to ask him because I want to know what cemetery it was. So King Elote, drop down a comment and let me know. What was the cemetery you went to go visit where you had that paranormal experience of that lady disappeared and you caught it on camera? Drop down a comment and let me know. And for everybody in Fresno, I do believe he saw something. I believe when I saw that video, I instantly knew because she disappeared right in the same frame as he was driving towards her. Nowhere to be found. She had to be some kind of spirit. She had to be a spirit just roaming around, or either one, protecting the place, or two, something happened to her there. Now that she's there, she's a lost. So basically, she's a lost soul who's earthbound and can't leave. Oh my God, that's so sad. Growing up in Fresno, I've heard so many haunted places, scary stories, and they've been told to me, but never have I ever thought that Belmont Memorial Park can be haunted. I believe hospitals are more haunted compared to cemeteries, but there can be a whim, a chance of a whim, or whim of a chance that most likely, cemeteries can be haunted. And as for Belmont Memorial Park, I've never heard about that place being haunted. So if you guys had your paranormal experience there, drop down a comment, let me know. I would love to hear it. I do believe cemeteries can be haunted. A little off topic, my friend Dee, you guys know Dee, she's been on the podcast before and she's been on paranormal investigations for the podcast. She finally got married and also she had a baby shower. So on Saturday she got married and on Sunday she had a baby shower. I cried. Me and her, we knew each other from work and we became so close. And so I'm just so happy for her. Her and her man been together for so long and now they finally tied the knot and they're having a baby. Like that's double the happiness, and I love that for her. Daisy, I love you. I wish you the best. I love everything that's happening for you and I can't wait to see baby Anaya. She named the baby Anaya, you guys. So cute. And then for the baby shower, they have these little games and I don't participate in the game, but they said they can give you these what's it called? The baby winsies, and you can draw on there, right? So I drew a moon with the podcast mic and then clouds, and in the back I put "If you're from Fresno." I was taking pictures with her. People were coming up to me saying, "Oh my God, like you're with Stark Tales. I love your podcast," so on and so forth. And then Daisy was all like, "If you're from Fresno," and then I told her, I said, "Girl, when a baby Anaya, she's gonna be listening to me when she grows up. When baby Anaya finally becomes like 1 or 2 years old, she's gonna be listening to me. I know it because Daisy listens to the podcast, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna have the baby listen to it." I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't really say bad words on my podcast because I've had kids who listen to these scary stories. And mind you, these videos are not for kids, but it's very informational. It's very educational. And I hope they're learning more about Fresno history, which is my intention. My intention was never to put out these videos to become, I don't know, a local celebrity or to become famous or a TikToker, so on and so forth. I did these videos because I wanted to share my knowledge with everyone else that have knowledge about Fresno. And back to baby Inaya, when she grows up watching this, I hope she learned from the scary stories and the histories of Fresno. So baby Anaya, hi, I'm your Auntie Megan. Just know I'm mentioning you in this video. And Auntie loves you. And Dee, I love you too. Thank you for having me join your journey of your life from a young woman to becoming a married woman and now a mother. I love you, Dee. Well, back to the topic. When you hear the word cemetery, the first thing that comes into your mind is someone passed away, they're being buried, they're resting in peace. But there are others who believe that cemeteries can be haunted, where spirits are walking around, roaming the area, haunting the living. Now, what if those spirits that are haunting the cemetery, what if the spirits that are haunting the cemetery are not the ones that are buried? What if those spirits are the ones something tragically happened to them at the cemetery and was never heard of, or people have never found out what happened to them? Off topic, I found out when people pass away and nobody claims their bodies, like family or friends, and they don't know who they are, they cannot be identified, they label the men as John Doe and the woman as Jane Doe. I never knew. I was just like, what? That is wild. I did not know that. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. Before we end the podcast, my question to y'all is, if cemeteries can be haunted, but the people that been buried are not haunting because they're resting, then who are the spirits that's haunting the cemetery? And the spirits are walking around. Are they the spirits visiting the ones that passed away? Or did something tragically happen to them at the cemetery? That's why they're haunting the location. And also, what if something happened between the person that's laying in the ground that was buried and the spirit was like, hey, I need to come ask you for forgiveness, but you're not talking to me because you moved on to, I don't know, reincarnation. I don't know if you guys believe in reincarnation, but there are people who do believe in reincarnation. And there are others who believe that they're waiting for Judgment Day. Well, back to the question. Can those spirits be just other random spirits that something tragically happened to them there at the cemetery, and that's why people see them at the cemetery? With that being said, thank you guys for listening, and thank you guys for watching, where I'll see you guys on Sunday for visual here on YouTube and on Monday for audio. Blessed be, please stay safe, and please give respect to these haunted places and spirits, because who knows, one day you might be haunting a place. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? If you're from Fresno, listen to this. Blessed be everyone. Bye. Do 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 do.